Keeper Diesel, Jess.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 11 of the Maritime Hockey Podcast. Jesse here, joined with Eric and Ben today. We have Chris and Nick who are out right now. You know, things popping up and stuff. It's busy times now that the restrictions are getting lifted, but so we'll probably have to move to one episode a week. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that leaves us with our hot topics for tonight. We'll talk about the Habs game 2, the Avalanche game 3, Canada going to the gold medal game in the World Championship.
That's ridiculous.
And then the first ever woman drafted to the OHL, Taya Curry. And then also the President's Cup final, which the Victoriaville Tigres won the President's Cup.
Let's go.
In the queue. So, yeah, I guess first thing we'll start with the Habs game 2 there.
So I watched it. I watched most of the game. Definitely, like I just missed like a bit of the first, and then I watched the rest of the game. And like, man, if I was Winnipeg, I wouldn't be nervous. The only thing that I'd be nervous about is Carey Price. I'm not nervous. People, I know like Montreal's hot right now, and I get it, and it's great, and they're playing well. But I mean, you still, even without Scheifele, which we'll get to that in a bit, I still think Winnipeg's a better team overall. I think a lot of people think that way.
Yeah.
But if the Canadians are winning this series, it's because Carey Price is going to steal that series, which he's proven that he can these first 2 games. But dude, like we say it all the time, like he's so clutch. He's just like, he's so relaxed. He's so like zen and just like doesn't get rattled. So, I mean, good for them. Like, you know, Winnipeg is obviously like, I think that they'll turn it on, and I think that they're going to get their win, and they're going to, you know, see what happens from there. But game 3 is huge, because if they go down 3-0 with the way the Carey Price is playing, I don't know, man. It'll be tough.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, going back to like to what Nick said in the previous episodes too. I think Ducharme really is going with that Moosehead's type of style playbook, you know. Because you mentioned like how good Price is in the playoffs. It's just like unbelievable how good he's been. Like I saw a thing today that Sportsnet posted. It was like the other night he recorded his 8th playoff shutout. Just ridiculous.
He's fucking good, man. It's crazy.
He's so good too, and that's the thing that annoys you too, when your team's playing against them and your team's just firing shots after shot, and he's stopping all them. It's like, just let one go in.
Like, coach, like, do you think that? I mean, as a coach, would you change anything? Would you change anything that Winnipeg's doing? I mean, they're getting shots. Like, it's not like they're, you know, the defense is preventing them from doing anything.
Personally, I think they got to get in front of him more. A goaltender's not going to stop what he can't see, right? Now, sometimes you get lucky. It hits off you, it goes off a knob of your stick, it goes off toes, like goes off something. I agree with you. I don't think Winnipeg is doing anything wrong in the sense of gameplay. They're playing quite rock'em sock'em type hockey, you know, body on body. But I think they just got to get in front of them, because I was talking to my barber today. Actually, shout out Ben Fisher. Got the fresh fade today, boys. Got that
good.
fresh get laid fade, you know. But I was talking to him today, and he's a Habs fan, and we were arguing who's the best 2 goalies right now in the playoffs, and he said Price, of course, and I can't argue with him on that. But I had a strong argument for Marc-Andre Fleury. We'll get into the Vegas game, obviously, but he's like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, it's this and it's this. And I was like, I know it's Carey Price. He was the best goaltender in the world for a couple of years straight. And then he went kind of through a lull, and now he's coming back, and he is the Price of old, in my opinion. But Fleury has this thing too, and I know we talk about Fleury, we pump his tires like mad. It's just because we're all fans of him. Like I'm a fan of Carey Price just because it's Carey Price and he's won of so many Olympic gold medals, right? But it is really, really nice to see that Price is playing so well. And when you know you have a goaltender of that caliber in between those pipes, as a player when I played, and Billy, I know the guys that I coached when you were in the net, and this is no offense to the guys that we had backing you up, but they just, you can do different things out there when you know somebody's back there that's going to make a save if you fuck up. Right? Now you're going to hear it from the goaltender, and I'm sure Pricer is giving it to some of these young guys like Cole Caulfield and Kotkaniemi when they do screw up and there's a turnover and it comes back down to their end. He's probably giving them the gears a little bit in the locker room. Yeah. But it's just nice to have that warm and fuzzy feeling that you got Carey Price or Marc-Andre Fleury back between the pipes if you do screw up. Yeah. Winnipeg, I got a little off track there. Winnipeg, they are going to get their win. I don't think that they're going to get swept. Scheifele's out of the lineup, but they have some big players on that team, as in they play major roles. You got Nikolai Ehlers. We've talked about him many times. You got speed, you got size. The defensive core has shown what they can do, but I think they got to protect the house a little bit more. Now, 1-0 loss is just a 1-0 loss. Like that's one goal, that's one shot, hit somebody. I didn't actually see the highlight of that goal. Kind of been off I was really following the Team Canada thing at the World Championship. They just got to keep crawling. And Paul Maurice is like, I love listening to his interviews because he's just so straight up and he's just like, yeah, all right, we lost. Okay, yep. It's like Barry Trotz. Like, he's like, yeah, all right, we lost this one, we won this one. You know, Boston's a good team, but both of them are saying this is unbelievable hockey to be watching. That Bruins and Islanders series is just so exciting. It's insane.
It's crazy.
But I do believe that they're doing everything right. The puck luck is just not there for Winnipeg as of right now.
Yeah.
It's there in the favor of the Habs for sure. But if they fall asleep, look out, because I really think that Winnipeg is going to come flying at them. No pun intended, because they're the Jets, but they can put the puck in the net. They showed that against the Edmonton Oilers. So,
and like the thing with Winnipeg too is that they hit at the right time, right? Like that's what I noticed, and a lot of teams are like that. But you have some teams that are just like consistently, just like over the course of the game, it's like they'll have hot streaks, cold streaks. The Jets, in my opinion, are one of those teams that they don't have like. I don't see them going up and down, like in terms of like, they're really good here, and then like, there's a 10-minute span where they suck. They're always just kind of going up. So it's like even it was in the third period, and there was like who was it? Might have been Pullman or Morrissey or Pionk, or I don't know which one of their defensemen blocked this, but it's like the puck got, they had their empty net, the puck gets dumped down, and then Toffoli hits the post and it goes out the other side. I think it was Philip Deneau who just like wires it on net, and it was Pionk or whoever it was defenseman who, two pads stacked and like hit it with his skate. And that, then it's like, well, that's great. But then the face off is like in your own zone, basically, or like just outside. But then they get like this last second chance with, might have been Kyle Connor, I think, or Ehlers, who took that shot and hit like Carey Price's head, which is like, that it's kind of just good positioning, right? But they're like, I wouldn't be too nervous if I was Winnipeg. Obviously, Carey Price can make you nervous, like I said, but I think that they're such a good team, and they showed it again. Sorry to bring up the Oilers, Ben, but they did show it against Edmonton that it's like if they can shut down a guy like McDavid and Draisaitl, it's like, man, they shouldn't have, even with an incredible goalie like Price, they shouldn't have that much trouble. So until they go down 3-1, like until they lose that next game, I wouldn't be nervous for Winnipeg. I think that they're still pretty good where they're at.
They win the next one, they're right back in it.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
If Montreal wins game 3, we've seen the miracles. Teams have come back from 0-3. But the way Montreal's playing right now, I really think if they get 3 and they get game 3 at home, and then they're still at home, even with 2,500 fans, boys are fired up even with those 2,500 fans in the building, right? And that gets Carey going, that gets everybody going. I don't even know who to pick yet. Like it's just it's too early.
It's still weird. It's still even at 2-0, it's still weird. Jess, I want to ask you, and this, kind of getting into the Scheifele thing. How big of an impact? Two things. One, how big of an impact do you think it has on Winnipeg for Scheifele not being in the lineup for 4 games? But also, what do you think about the hit? And what do you think about the suspension and everything that happened?
Well, yeah, I think it definitely hurts Winnipeg that they don't have Scheifele. I mean, he's one of their top producers, and when you lose a guy like that, especially a key piece to your team, it hurts your team a lot. And getting into the hit, I don't think there was no need of that whatsoever. I mean, the guy already scored on the wraparound in the empty net, and then Scheifele just comes in and shoves him right down. That was I think it was brutal. I think it's good that he got suspended 4 games. And yeah,
you think it was warranted? Yeah.
And also, I think it was nice of Ehlers because everyone was having like a brawl around Evans, and Ehlers is just there like blocking them off so no one falls on Evans. So
yeah, same with the linesmen too. They did a really good job.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, Billy, I'm going to dive right into that one because Younger and I had a really intense conversation about that hit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quote Paul Maurice, and he's obviously going to back up his player, but really heavy hit. All right. So there were huge hits like that back in the day, like big hits, even greasier than that. Scott Stevens on Paul Correa, like that was the biggest, greasiest hit ever. But that's what the league was all about, was open ice hits. Okay. Jesse, totally agree with you. The timing of the hit, not needed, right? No. He scored the goal. He could have just peeled off.
Yeah.
But he's going, I watched the replay a couple times. He's at top speed, and then he hinged for like a split second. You can see it in the replay. He hinged a little bit, right? And then he kept going. That's what really got me thinking, okay, yeah, he's going to get a suspension for this hit. I didn't think it was going to be 4. I thought it was going to be 2 because Scheifele's not a dirty player. Like, I've never seen him do too much. Like he's not a Revo or some of these other guys that played in the league back in the day that were greasy. Like a Sean Avery, who's like
holy shit, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
But I love him. Him. So Scheifele's not a dirty player by any means. Heavy hit. He goes from top speed, going into his own zone. He hinges for about a split second, and then he keeps going. When I saw the hinge, I saw it on like the 5th time I watched the replay. I was like, okay, he thought about hitting him. He thought about hitting him. He thought, like, what am I going to do here? He thought about it for that split second, and then he went right back to top speed. Now, these guys are the elite of the elite in the world, right? Like, they're playing at the top. So it doesn't take them that long to get back up to top speed, right? Now, Scheifele's not as fast as Nathan McKinnon or Connor McDavid, but, he thought about it. And I think that's what probably the Department of Safety looked at, was the replay over and over and over again, obviously. But hit in general, not needed, right? Intensity of the game, yes, you're down. It kind of sucks. All right, I'm going to go take this guy's fucking head off. I get it. I've been there. But I didn't think he was going to get 4. I thought he was going to get 2 because it's Mark Scheifele. But they are trying to make those hits get out of the game. But then at the same time, when you watch the Boston Islanders game, there were 2 huge open ice hits in the second period, I do believe it was, right in the neutral zone, right between the 2 blue lines, body on body. I think it was McAvoy and Coyle. They both hit 2 guys, and they were huge hits, just as big as the Mark Scheifele one was. It's the timing and when he did it, and he did not target his head. He did have his head down because he was going around the net, and he had his head down to do this. So body positioning of Evans, but at the same time, and all the listeners can agree to disagree or whatever they want to say. I saw him hinge, but he still went through with the hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not needed at that time of the game, but in that heat of the moment, he's frustrated. He's pissed. He's losing. He's supposed to be a leader on this team. He has an A on his jersey.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is when he does come back, if he does come back and if this game goes the distance, he's going to have to answer the bell.
Oh, of
because
course.
Someone is going to come after him. It's part of the code. We've heard Bieksa talk about it on Hockey Night in Canada. It's the code. He's going to have to answer that bell. I don't know who's going to go after him. Let's say it's Weber. Weber's going to make him look like a rag doll.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to answer the call. And he knows it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
He knows it's coming. He's looking at the replay. He's probably seen it a million times.
Yeah.
And apparently he's getting text messages and stuff like that are just terrible things to be saying to a human being, right? From like somebody's family. I heard all these rumors. It's like the Ethan Bear thing with the racial slurs and stuff like that. That's just terrible.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be in the game. It happened. Evans, yes, he had a concussion and he's had prior head injuries. Hit probably shouldn't have happened. Put the puck in the net. Scheifele probably should have just peeled off into the corner and just gone for a skate, but he didn't.
Yep.
Take your suspension, answer the bell if you come back into this series. Take it and wash it away. And I'm sure, because Scheifele's a good old Canadian boy, and all these boys are good boys, like they are. Like the whole John Tavares hit. Perry played on the Olympic team with him, and he said that he texted him when he was in the hospital, and he answered him back, and he said, man, it was just a totally different hit.
Yeah.
It gets me fired up, as you can see. And I'm going on a little bit of a rant here.
Oh, no.
But yeah, the timing of the hit, totally agree, Jess. Like, not the time. If that was, if the game was 3-2 for Montreal and we were trying to get the puck back and there was still like 2-3 minutes left in the game and there was an empty net, okay, hit him. Give her. Maybe you stop the puck, maybe it doesn't go in, you go down the other end. It was like less than a minute left in the third or something, wasn't it? And he's probably looking at that and saying, probably not the best time. Because I've done some stupid shit on the ice too, where I probably shouldn't have done it. And then you look back at it, you're like, it's probably a bad call. But hey, he'll take his 4. I thought he was only going to get 2. I don't think he needed any more than 4. But I think the Department of Safety is trying to set a precedent on we're trying to get this shit out of the game. But at the same time, you can't get out of the fucking game because people want to fucking see those hits.
That's right.
I want to see them.
Yeah.
But clean, body on body.
Of course.
Like the McAvoy and the Coyle hits with the Bruins. I want to see those. I'm an old Don Cherry, old school kind of rock and sock 'em. Like, remove the man from the puck. It's a contact sport. If you don't like it, don't fucking play it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And it's so funny. Well, not funny, but it's like it's good that you guys brought up that you didn't right away just say, oh, because he hit him hard, that's a suspension. It's like, well, that's not.
It's just a heavy hit.
It's just a heavy hit. And it'd be different if he lifted his elbow or something, caught him in the face, but he didn't. The only reason why his head is hurting is because he slammed it on the ice when he fell. Even if he hit him here, like this, hitting him here and his head kind of, that's not enough to give you.
It's also that whiplash too.
It's also that whiplash.
But I'm not a doctor.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that
he had his head down too, like Jesse said. He had his head
exactly.
down.
So you know, and like it's so weird because it's like at the end of the day, he got what he got, and it's like okay, but the discussion part is nice because it's like at first I saw it live. When I first saw it, I was like, that is ridiculous. I can't believe he did that. Every single each time that I saw the replay, I've seen it probably 40 times. Like I've seen this hit so many times. Yeah. And I'm like from different angles too. It's everywhere. I mean, everywhere is posting about it. And it's just so crazy that it's like you can make a case. You can honestly make a case that it could have been a higher suspension, but you can also make a case that he probably should have just got 1 game, or that it's even you know what I'm saying? Because it's when you look, like you said, the hinge, and it's like he knew that Buddy was going to score. And I know
you're going to go watch the replay again, and you're going to see the hinge, and you're going to be like,
yeah, you're going to be like, yeah. He knew he didn't go down the ice with full intent, like I'm going to body this guy. He was trying to back check, like everyone else was back checking, but he was the first guy there. But there came a point where he's like, okay, well, I'm not stopping the goal. Like the puck is going in unless Evans royally fucks up. The puck is going in the net for sure. So it wasn't like the puck went in, he started to celebrate, and then he hit him. That's a different story. The puck like hadn't even hit the back of the net yet, or just barely, and then it was like score boof, like it was right away. So it's like, and another thing, people blaming Evans. People's like Sean Avery said, like, got to keep your head up, like it's playoff hockey. It's like part of that I agree with, but the other part is like it's such a weird play because it's you're the first one in the zone, and it's right there, it's an empty net, and you're just trying to get the puck in the net. It's like I'm sure that he's full aware that there's going to be a player coming to hit him. I'm sure he knew that, but he's just like, what is he going to do? Take it and then go around like the boards and try to find a backdoor play or something, or just try to launch it. It's like, dude, the puck is there. You're right there. Get the fuck in the net. Like, obviously, like that's what I would have done. So, but you're not going to wrap it around looking like this. Like you tuck it in. So he just tucked it in, made sure it was in, and boom, he got hit. So anyone saying that Evans, it's like, dude, play with your head up. It's like, bro, anytime you take a wraparound, it doesn't matter what part of the game is, whether there's goalie in there or not.
Anytime you're
looking down at what you're doing.
You're looking at is where the goalie is, if it's in the net, or the actual back of the net.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, so that part I don't agree with, where it's like, oh man, keep your head up.
Wasn't
bro,
Evans' fault.
So it's it's not Evans' fault that he got bundied. It's like, and I'm not even saying that, I don't think Evans should have done anything different. I would have done the same thing. I'm sure that he would have done the same thing. If that happens again and he's back, I'm sure he's going to do the same thing, because it's like you have to put the puck in the net and it's right there. Obviously, you're just going to wrap it around. And there's another thing too, is just like, I was talking to a good friend of mine. Shout out to Ainsley Chason, big Habs fan. She was telling me, she said, and she's kind of on our side in the sense that it's like the hit itself, the contact, you see that many times. Like you see that contact in a game a lot. Like the Torrey Krug hit in the 2019 Cup Finals, where he literally went from one end of the ice and bundied Robert Thomas. That hit, no, there was no penalty on that play.
No,
nothing. I mean, you look at that hit, you can argue that hit was dirtier than this one, because he charged from his end without a helmet, just bolted and just destroyed, and he left his feet because they both fell. So it's like, and that was just like, heavy hit, let's go playoff hockey. And it's like, so it's not so much the contact, I think. It's like you guys said, it's the timing. It's the what is the other player doing? Like the player that you're hitting, what is he doing? And what were you doing? And the situation of the game, the scenario, that's what made it dirty, because it's like, the puck's going in the net. We all know that. Scheifele knew it. It's physically impossible for him to get there and try to poke it away. The puck's going in the net. So he made a decision, and he's like, and like you said, that's the hinge. It's like, well,
I think he just had an absolute brain fart. Like
I think he did,
just got caught up in the game and just I think he just had a brain fart. And I hope that Evans has a speedy recovery, because we want every player to be in this series. That's for sure.
That's right.
But I think that Scheifele will understand that you got your PP whacked, take your suspension, and fucking move on.
Yeah, going back to what Ben said about people giving Scheifele hate comments and all that, and bully threats towards his family and all that. I mean, that's just terrible. There's no need to do that either.
Now we won't stay too long on that, but anyone who does that, if there's anyone watching who thinks that that's a decent, like, you're a fucking idiot. All right, don't do that. Okay, it doesn't belong in sports.
Yeah.
What's the next thing, Jess? Moving on.
Talk about the Avalanche game 3.
Avalanche, you want to kick her off there?
Yeah, I'll kick it off since I'm the Avs fan here. Man, that first period, rough for the Avalanche. That whole first period, they only had 3 shots on net, and Vegas was just all over them. But the second period, they picked it up a bit. I think the Avalanche scored first. I'm pretty sure, yeah. But no, with Vegas being at home too, I mentioned before in the previous episodes that their crowd is probably one of the loudest crowds in the league too. Like, that place is just rocking. they're getting their team pumped up, and it shows too that the players really take energy off of the crowd noise and all that. But I still think Colorado played good. They were up 2-1, and then Vegas got those 2 quick goals. Obviously that's the Avalanche's first loss of this playoffs, but do I think that Vegas is gonna come back and win the series? Well, maybe, but I still got Colorado taking the series. I mean, they're still leading the series, so if you're Colorado, I don't think you get too nervous. You're just like, all right, just a bad game for us. Let's move on, go into the next one, and come out more competitive.
Come out hungrier.
Yeah.
And I think too that it's like,
and I mean, Grubauer played great that game.
Well, that's another thing. It's like you're having Philip Grubauer, who, I mean, this is, what a series this is, like, for pure entertainment value, because it's like, man, you're watching the 2 top teams in the league right now, number 1, number 2. You're having 2 Vezina Trophy candidates go head to head. Like, this is crazy. But what's funny is that, like, it's crazy how good these teams are, because in the first 2 games, well, the first game, obviously, Colorado made Vegas look like they suck at hockey, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just how good they are. But in the second game,
final.
I think it was the second period. From the second period of game 2 to like from then to where we are now, Vegas has heavily outplayed Colorado. They've outshot them like 60 to, it was like something like over 60 to like 30. Like, they doubled them in shots, probably even more. And it's not just the amount, but it's the quality of scoring chances. And that's just another testament to tell you how good Colorado is, and just how balanced and how deep they are as a team, because they're getting that outplayed in the last, 5 periods of hockey-ish. And they're still up in the series. They were up 2-1 in the game. Vegas scored 2 goals in like 48 seconds, and then they won. And Grubauer's playing unreal. So again, we probably talk about Colorado every episode, but I still think, even if Vegas wins game 2, even if Vegas, or game 4, sorry, even if Vegas wins game 4, I still have Colorado winning the series. I don't think that they're going to lose at home. So even if it goes 7, I'm taking Colorado. But they're crazy. They're crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I still got the Avalanche taking this in 6 games. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised really if it does go 7, but like you said there too, Billy, even if it goes 7 too, I still got the Avs. And another thing too, I saw people were saying, oh, Colorado's gonna sweep Vegas. It's like, no.
The teams now are they're too good to get swept.
Yeah, like Colorado and Vegas, you could argue they're like probably the 2 best teams in the playoffs right now, because Colorado obviously finished top in the league, and then Vegas was right behind them. So,
what do you think, Ben? Oh, my bad. Sorry, my bad, bro.
And I'm just wrapping it up here anyway. But that's the thing too. When you have 2 great teams playing in the playoff series, it just makes it so entertaining to watch. I mean, like with Grubauer and Fleury, obviously they're up there in the Vezina trophy finalist. I don't know how the NHL is going to decide who wins it, honestly, because out of Vasilevsky, Grubauer, and Fleury, I don't know.
Be tough. They're all deserving.
Yeah. Anyways, Ben, what do you think?
Well, we'll dissect game 1 really quick, and it's real fucking easy. Do not put Robert Leonard in the fucking bench.
Yeah, that's funny.
The guy's been on the fucking bench for how long? Like half the season?
Yeah.
Right. Pete DeBoer really dicked the dog on that one. Like, I get it. You want to give Flower a break. I get it. But these guys are supposed to be at the top, at their physical condition, and Flower could have played that game. Don't know if it's going to make much of a difference. Maybe Colorado is more rested, all that stuff. Don't put Robin Leonard in the net.
Yeah.
Sorry. Game 2, you put Flower in. Went to overtime. I do believe Rantanen scored the overtime winner in game 2. Absolute fucking snipe.
Yeah.
Like that shot had ice. It was stupid. It was crazy. Goes to overtime. It's anybody's game. Game 3, I think it's good for Colorado to lose that game because it takes them off of cloud 9, right?
Yeah.
They haven't lost a game in the playoffs. They got to sit for a while after sweeping the Blues. Guess what? Now you're back down to earth, boys. You're not fucking perfect. You can lose, right? It happens. You can lose just because you're the best team and all this stuff. And you have Nathan McKinnon and Landeskog and Grubauer and Rantanen and Makar. Guess what? Vegas fucking beat you. You're not perfect.
That's right.
Anything can happen. So now you get to come back into game 4 and it's in Vegas still, right? So yes, you have to deal with that crowd, right? I think Vegas will take game 4. Go back to Colorado. I personally think it's going to go game 7 because I don't think that Vegas is going to roll over and die now.
Yeah.
The Boar's got to ride Flower. You got to ride him. Dude, I will say it right now. If you put Robin Leonard back in that net, it's not going to look good.
It's not going to be good.
No.
Ride Flower. You have. It's like the oldest coach's rule in the book. You ride your hot goaltender. Like Flower can have pregame nap, PB and J sandwich before the game. It'll be good, right? But I really think it's going to go 7 because I don't think Vegas is going to roll over and die. If for some crazy reason, Colorado wins tomorrow night and then they win game 5. This series is the series to watch. I know that the Bruins and the Islanders series is pretty entertaining, but as long as Boston loses, I'm good.
Yeah, same here.
But and I know a lot of Bruins fans are going to hate that one, but I just it's time for a changing of the guard. Just let somebody else And Bailey, I think you brought it up a couple episodes ago. I'm so sick and fucking tired of the same fucking teams making the playoffs.
Well, that's it.
I want to see Vegas. I want to see Vegas still in there a little bit. I want to see. I would love to see the Seattle Kraken get in right off the bat like Vegas did. I want to see. I want to see Vegas. I want to see Buffalo. I want to see New Jersey. I want to see some of these old school teams like Detroit. I want to see all those old school teams come back into it again. But I really, it's like the Montreal series. I don't know who to pick. They're both two amazing hockey teams with Vegas and Colorado. The goaltending has been immaculate except for Robin Leonard. Sorry, bud. It's just. But
except for Robin Leonard.
I know, right? It's just like whoa. I don't know what happened there. I was watching a little bit of that game and I fell asleep, and I was like, oh fuck.
That set the tone for the whole series. It's like fuck.
But I want Colorado to win deep down in my gut because of Nathan McKinnon and all the Maritimers that they have on that team. But I just it's the depth thing and the veteran presence. I don't know if they have it like Vegas does. Like you got Stoney, you got Pacioretty in there, you got Flower who's won 3 cups. Like you can't, it's going to come down to that. I think it's going to come down to if you're going into game 7 and you're tied at 3 or you're down by 1 going into the third period, you got to have a guy like Mark Stone or Flower in the back in the cage saying, all right, boys, what the fuck are we going to do here? What do you want to do? You want to roll over and die, or do you want to go for Lord Stanley? Let's go.
Because it's crazy with Fleury too, is that he didn't get tested very much that game. They finished with 20 shots, maybe 18, something like that. But it's it's the timing. It's the timing of those saves.
Their shot. Their goal. Oh yeah, I know. I thought you were talking about the timings of the goals, but the timing of the saves. Yeah.
No, the timing of the save. I mean, even both. It's just like Vegas's timing of their goals was fucked. And good on Marcia, sorry, for
Jonathan Monster Truck Show.
Yeah, Monster Truck Show. Him, fucking the way that he. What a smart play. Crosby does that all the time. I know, Crosby's way gone in the playoffs, but he is so good. He's back here. Yeah, he's gone. But just he missed on the break with a partial break that he had. Okay, he missed, but he got Grubauer sliding, and it's that is the smart play. You bank it off the goalie. That is smart. The fact that more people don't try that is mind-boggling. I know a lot of people do, but I see times where it's like, I guess it's just because I'm used to watching Crosby because I'm a Penguins fan. So I see that all the time. Whenever he has it behind the net,
Yeah.
one of his first things, it's like, okay, can I score? Like, can I bank this off this guy? And he tries it. A lot of guys do it, but I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. So the fact when I saw that go in, I was like, good for Marchessault. Like, good for
Yeah.
him because that was a smart play. And I know Grubauer was like kicking himself, but he can't do anything.
No.
It wasn't Grubauer's like that. That wasn't a bad goal on Grubauer. That
No.
was a smart play by Marchessault. Like, that's what you got to do. And going
Yep.
back to Fleury, the timing of his saves, and it's like, what's good about Fleury is that he doesn't change. He's never changed the way that he should play because people say like, oh man, he's not to shit on Price, but it's like, man, look at Price. Like, why can't like he's calm? Like goalies should be like that. But Fleury, he's good in his own way. Like he has that old school, just fucking like. There's a bit of Dominic Hasek in him where he's like, I just need to stop the puck. I just need to make sure that the puck doesn't go in the net. And that's why he's won 3 cups. That's why he's up for his first Vezina trophy at 36 fucking years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? He just does his own thing. He's classic, kind of old school style. And he makes, whether he has 45 shots in the game or 15, he's going to come up with that big save. And he did it last night. And I'm pumped for him and good on him.
Yep. And like Ben said too, with this series, it's the series that people want to watch. I know a lot of people wanted to see this series between Colorado and Vegas. And like I said, I won't be surprised if it goes to a Game 7.
No, I don't think anyone will.
No.
People get their money's worth. Everybody at Vegas will either go home with a big pot or they will lose all of their savings.
That's right.
What's up next there, Jess? Let's go.
Canada World Championship.
Oh my gosh. What a I laughed so hard today when I saw they made the
what a duster of a fucking team.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah. Just a bunch of fourth line plugs. Losing
I guess
Latvia,
for people that haven't been following it that much, I'll kind of give you a breakdown of what's been going on with Canada. So
give him the breakdown.
Yeah, that was whoa. I've never heard you speak like that in my life.
I could do weird things. Man.
Yeah, that was fucking the timing of that was weird. All right.
So yeah, anyways, going back to the start of the tournament, Canada got shut out by Latvia 2-0.
2-0.
And then we kept losing our games. I think we lost to who was it?
I honestly don't know.
US, I think we lost to them. Yeah. US.
Finland was later though, I think.
Yeah, Finland was later. But yeah, anyways, we started off pretty bad. And then all of a sudden they went to the room and they're like, all right, boys, we have to get our style of hockey going. We need something to click here. And then, so they got up to that game where they played Finland and they lost to Finland in a shootout. Yeah. But if they would have won, they would have been guaranteed in the quarterfinals. But there was something, I think they needed a point or something to get in.
Yeah,
so
they needed. I think they needed Germany to beat Latvia, and Germany did beat Latvia.
Yeah, and so then Canada got into the quarterfinals. We played Russia, went to overtime. Beautiful play by Troy Stetcher, by the way. Well, let's go. Plays for my Red Wings.
I'm just holding my Rager right now.
Yeah,
and then it makes toe drag around the defenseman. Goes around the other guy. Beautiful pass to Mangiapane. And then Canada's off to the semis, which was today.
Against the Stats.
Against the United States of America.
Fuck Americans. All right. Tell us what happens, Jess. What happens? Let's hear it.
Canada beats the USA 4-2. And we're off to the gold medal game against Finland. And it's like a thing I wanted to bring up about this Canada team. It's like that Drake song started from the bottom. Now we here.
Wow. Here it is. Here it is.
Oh man. Do you think that that's what they're listening to now? Like, if they fucking win, like, that's definitely what they're gonna fucking listen to. Oh, I can't believe
I
you just
think
said
they should be listening
that.
to it.
That's funny. Oh shit. But yeah. What a Ben, give us the beans. Give us a breakdown of this. Like, what are you thinking about this Canadian team?
Okay, so this Canadian team could have had a lot of players kind of almost right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
They could have. Like, as soon as the first round was done, you could have had Connor McDavid, you could have Darnell Nurse, you could have all these guys from the Oilers. They're not going to go over there because they have to quarantine. It's just not going to happen. Big loss, get swept. They're not going to go over there.
And they're probably
even
tied.
Even Draisaitl didn't even go over and play for Germany, right?
Yeah.
So that's telling you something, because I know they're all big, they want to represent their countries and all of that kind of stuff. So you go down and you lose 3 games straight. And I'm talking to my buddy Wamby, and I'm talking to Younger. And biggest conversation I had was with my buddy Wamby. So he doesn't call me very often because he's terrible at answering his phone. Shout out Wamby. So he calls me and he doesn't call me. So it's usually, I feel like something's wrong, right? And he goes, "How fucking bad is Canada?" And I'm like, "Man, it's really bad." And he's like, "Dude, Darcy Kemper can't stop a fucking beach ball. Like, you got fucking junior players basically playing against fucking elite fucking all-star players from Russia who can't even fucking wear their own logo.
Yeah.
And the States, and then you lose to fucking Latvia.
Like, shut out. Shut out by Latvia.
Yeah. Give your fucking head a shake. So anyway, I'm not gonna lie. I ripped on Darcy Kemper a couple episodes ago, or one with Greg McDonald. Shout out to Greg McDonald. Ripped on Darcy Kemper. Ripped on the team. Basically threw in my hat on this whole tournament. So we go into that quarter. We other teams helped us. We go into the quarterfinal, and I'm watching that game. Okay, and you get Mangiapane, he's okay with Calgary, but all of a sudden now he's with Canada and he sits for 6 days or whatever in quarantine. Now he's back in. He comes in, he's just ready to fucking go. And he's like leading the team in points. He's got Connor Brown on his line, who scored great points with Ottawa Senators. Now, to do that move, what's his name? I can't pronounce it the right way. To do that move in overtime, Jess.
Stetcher.
To do that move with that confidence, and how he went here, backhand through the legs, up to his skate, up to his blade, and then sauced it over to Mangiapane. Billy, there's no way. That's the one pass that hits perfectly, and it goes and it sauces over. That goalie for Russia would have made that save for sure if it got tipped. If it got, if that puck starts doing this going in, it just was dirty sauce coming around. Lands, hits it. I lost it. I'm losing my mind. I'm like, holy mother of God, that's one of the sickest plays, the sickest moves I've ever seen.
Because that was 3-on-3 overtime too.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine that? It hits, he goes to pull it back, it hits his fucking heel or something, or he loses it, and then
and then all of a sudden
the other way
down
for Russia.
So he says in an interview with, I do believe it's Lindsay Hamilton that's over there for TSN. Absolute rocket.
Very true. Shout out Lindsay Hamilton. Come on the podcast.
Check out her Instagram.
Yep. Come on the podcast sometime.
Come on, we'll have
Come on.
So he stands there and he says that Shane Doan tells him, because Donor saw him doing it and doing that move in practice, and he said you should do that in a game. So he goes and does it in fucking overtime, and they fucking score and they win.
Fucking go, man! Let's go!
Beautiful play.
Fucking Shane Doan. Side note: Shane Doan. I would kiss that guy on the lips. Easy.
Because I had it all thrown away. I was like, Roberto Luongo doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He picked the wrong guys. Why did he pick Darcy Kemper? And that one save that he made when he was like down on his belly and he kind of stood up and he got on his edges of his skates and he like pushed himself and pushed the puck away, like just like that poke check.
Yeah.
Just gave you that much hope in him. Just like, you know maybe this guy's not bad.
And then the game today, I caught the second and third period because it was on at like 8:00 this morning. And States had a lot of injuries. But just if this can go, knock on wood, if this can go the distance, this is what you call a Cinderella story.
Oh, because 100%.
Like you got some of the absolute benders of the league just like going in, and then you got Gerard Gallant that's running the bench. This is basically a trial for him, probably to get back into the NHL.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So now we got the Finns. Right? We got the Finns tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's not going to be easy.
No.
I know we took them to a shootout, but I think we dug back from being down. No, sorry, other way around. Canada was up and Finland came back. They were up 2-1 or something.
Yeah, they were up,
back. I don't know, man. I don't know. Finns,
I don't know.
Finns are scary.
But it's like,
it's gonna be a tough one.
It'll be tough, but I wouldn't even, like, obviously I'd be disappointed because, we're Canadian. We want Canada to win, but it's like, you do not lose 2-0 to Latvia and then get your ass in the gold medal game. That doesn't happen. If you lose to Latvia, pack it in. They should have left after that, been like, see ya. Literally, the Latvian, I can't get over that. I'm going back to that game because it's like, Latvia literally sent packages on where the Canadian players were staying after the game with a note because it's like courtesy in that country, that culture, literally with notes saying like, thank you for providing us with literally the greatest day in Latvian hockey history.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's true. Like, that's a true thing.
Yeah.
And then just for them to turn around and be like, yeah, Canada is actually going to be at least a silver medalist and maybe gold. Like, they could win. That is so bonkers to me that it's like, what the fuck? Like, that is one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
But that's the crazy thing about this tournament too, is that you can take that long way around.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You have to get some help from other teams, but you can take that long way around. And the Finns had kind of like, they just coasted through this tournament, right? I don't think they lost a game. Maybe they lost one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They just kind of coasted through this tournament. So now you're going up against a nitty-gritty Canadian team that basically has said since they went 0-3, we got nothing to lose here, boys.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're in the we're going to we punched our ticket to the big dance. Let's just go out and fucking play hockey. And I hope they just beat the bag off of the.
Yeah, it'd be so awesome. Like 5-0. So I'm just like, boom.
Yeah.
Doubt Canada again, motherfuckers. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
That's gonna be sick.
Going to that Latvia game again, though, I was just like Ben too when I saw that they beat us. I'm like, how the hell do you lose to Latvia? I'm like, at that point, I'm like, all right, might as well just quit from the tournament. Might as well just like forfeit every game.
Fuck, man.
And then they just come back all of a sudden. They're like, yeah, you want to deal with us?
Yeah.
Boom, we're in the gold medal.
Fuck yeah.
So now
let's hope they win.
That gold medal game's tomorrow, you said, Ben?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Let's go get it.
Tomorrow. Let's fucking get that shit.
Let's get that gold.
All right, Jess. Next thing, I'm gonna predict. All right, I got it in my brain. What is it? I think it's this. Is it the Thing?
Yeah.
Is it? Say it.
Yeah. All right. So this past weekend, some breaking news. The first ever woman has got drafted into the OHL, the Ontario Hockey League. Taya Curry, first ever woman drafted to OHL, Sarnia Sting. She went 267th overall, I think it was, in the 14th round. I did do some research on here. So she played with
stats.
She played with the Elgin Chiefs boys AAA team since Adam. She recorded a shutout and a 3.19 goals against average in 16 games last season. And she's been playing AAA now for 7 years. And she got talked to by some NCAA schools but has yet to decide her future. So I think that's great news. Obviously, I think women getting into this professional stage, I think it's great on them. I think we should definitely be seeing a lot of women in professional sports because I mean they're just as good as men. And people, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, women aren't good at hockey." It's like, yeah, they are. Do you watch the women's national Canada team?
That's
like
right.
those women are some of the best women in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, it's so crazy that it's like, you know, first and foremost, this is a long time coming. I think that this is absolutely fantastic. I think everyone thinks that this is fantastic. And, you know, not only for this girl, but for the league, for the team, for future girls, you know, young girls coming up in all kinds of sports, not just hockey, but like, you know, basketball, baseball, softball, like tennis, like all the boxing, like every single sport that you can think of, you know, this, because the OHL, obviously, they didn't have a season this year. So, okay, the priority draft. So these kids coming into it, looking for a fresh start, like whatever. And this goalie too. It was shout out. I don't know if you mentioned it was goalie, but it was. So fucking goalie power. Let's go. You know, I saw that and I'm overjoyed for her. And it's just like, you know, like I know a lot of, you know, a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I know, girls who play hockey. It's like, man, this is such even though like this, you know, it's not them getting drafted, it's just this girl, whatever, but this is such a big step for them. It's just like, man, like they see this and it's like, let's fucking go, man. I'm sure that gives them so much like motivation. And it's like, so I'm excited. Like I'm excited to see what happens with her. The only thing that, and this could be, maybe it's her decision. Like I don't know if it's, I'm sure it is. I'm sure she, you know, she's not gonna be forced to do anything. The only thing though is that like if she does want to play NCAA, as soon as if she does end up signing with Sarnia, her chances of playing NCAA are gone. So that's where it's like, I'm not saying because she's not good enough, but what I'm saying is that I doubt that we will see her in an OHL game because I don't think that she would want to ruin her chances at playing NCAA. Because if she gets drafted, she got drafted to the OHL. No matter what round it was in. Obviously, schools are going to come talk to her, be like, "Hey, listen, once you get this age, come play with fucking us. Like that's going to be awesome." She's probably got schools up to wazoo coming up and talking with her. So I hope for her sake and for her career that she could definitely have in the NCAA and beyond that. I hope that she doesn't sign with Sarnia. If she does, good on her. If she ends up playing, that's fucking sick. That'd be awesome. Then move on from there. It's just that NCAA, you get school and you get, you know, that's a 4-year thing, automatic, maybe even more. And she'll be a starter for whoever team probably soon, maybe after her first or second year, or maybe even, you know. So for that, like that's why I'm hoping that she goes the NCAA route. Because as soon as you sign, you can't do that. And I wouldn't want her, and I'm sure no one else would want her to be limited in what she can do. But regardless of what happens, this is absolutely fantastic. Good on her, representing goalies and young, you know, women hockey players very, very well. So this is a win for sure.
And she's only young too. She's only 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good on her. I think that's fantastic.
I think it's great.
I know in the article I read about her too, they were saying that I couldn't pronounce the name because it's all like French and all that, but they were saying back in the day, like there was this girl too, this woman.
Oh, Manon Rayon, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She played in the NHL game with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, Manon Rayon.
So she was a backup to the backup, I do believe.
Yeah. She played in a preseason game, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, and so yeah, Taya Curry was saying that she was her inspiration to work hard for the professional stage, and I think if she makes the Sarnia team, I think that's fantastic. I think, like I said, I think women should definitely be getting recognized for how good they are at hockey. And like you said, Billy, too, I know a lot of girls that play hockey too, and it's like when you see this stuff, it's like good on you, you
Yeah.
know. It's like makes you happy to see that stuff. It's like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Like I know Billy, you posted it on your story and I posted it on my story because it's like, yeah,
Great.
just fantastic. What do you think, Ben?
I think it's a great thing. Right before we popped on, I did see it. I haven't been on my phone a lot today, so I did see it. Congratulations to her. It's a big day for her in the sense of, wow, I just got drafted to the OHL, and B, wow, I did what not a lot of other women have done, right?
Yeah.
And Billy, you're 100% correct on the NCAA side of things, but
Yeah.
this opens doors for her to play for Canadian Olympic team.
Yeah.
The women are having their own professional league right now. There's that what is it, the Secret Cup or something?
Yeah,
I watched a couple games. It was great hockey. Really fun to watch. And I always cheer for Team Canada for the women at the Olympics. Sometimes they do better than the men. But it just opens up so much doors for her, and it also just shows to every little girl out there that is playing hockey or ringette or whatever it might be that it's great in the sense of that what hockey is not just a guy's game. Anybody can play this sport. It's one of the greatest sports in the world. It is an expensive sport to play, but just to see that and see a semi-professional club recognize a female or a girl, woman, whatever you would like to call her. She's at the top of her game right now.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. It just opens up so many doors. As much as I'm not a huge fan of Cassie Campbell because of what she said a couple weeks ago about the women's world championship not being here in Truro and Halifax. I think she'll be very, very excited about this, but it'll be all over Hockey Night in Canada tonight, that's for sure. But it's a great day for women's hockey and women in general, and it's a really big and awesome step in the right direction. And she doesn't know us from a hole in the ground, but especially being a goaltender, that's one of the hardest, as Billy, you well know, it's one of the hardest positions to play, and there's usually only 2 spots on every team to make, right? So she's got a lot of work ahead of her, I bet, because hey, you're playing at the top level in the world. The boys aren't going to go easy on you.
That's right.
Right? Like I played against girls in midget AAA, and hey, you got the same jersey as your other teammates do. I got the opposition's jersey on. You go into the corner, I'm hitting you just as hard as I hit anybody else. Doesn't matter, girl, guy, that don't matter.
Yep.
We're all here. It's contact sport, and she's a goaltender. And I'm sure she's going to prove a lot of critics wrong because there are going to be people out there that are going to rip her 1 or 2 or something like that. But I hope she does well, and I hope she has a Canadian jersey on for the women's in the Olympics one day. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, no, I know. She was saying that would be a dream of hers too, to play for that.
You'll see her. Yeah, you'll see her on the Olympic team.
She's
as good as she is. I haven't seen any replays or anything.
No.
But getting drafted into the OHL, you got to be fucking good. You got to know how to stop a puck.
That's right.
Yeah. And I seen
stick taps all around.
Yeah. I seen today people in the comments on Instagram too. I mean, it's unfortunate you always get people like this, but people were saying, "Oh, these OHL guys are gonna rip it up on her." It's like she's been playing against guys her whole career.
Well, that's right.
She's been on top of her game,
a higher caliber. Definitely a higher caliber. But I understand where you're coming from, Jess. Everybody, it's an adjustment every time. Even when you went from Pee Wee to Bantam to midget, it's always an adjustment. So she's going to get trainers. She's going to get coaches. She's going to get goalie coaches. She's going to get a higher level of education about the game, and she'll be shutting down guys in the OHL. Tryouts.
100%. And like you look at Shannon Zabados, who was for years, she was like probably the most well-known female hockey player, along with Wickenheiser and a goalie at least, at the very least goalie. Anyway, and it's just like, man, you look at what she did and stuff, and how much success she's had, and I don't want to say that she's retired. I might be that wrong. I'm not sure if she is retired or
I'm not
not.
100% sure.
Not
The
100%
Olympics
sure.
have been so screwed up with
Well, that's
COVID
right,
and
yeah.
stuff,
So
like,
I'm not too sure on Zabados, but I mean, she's been absolutely fantastic, and like, and it's so nice, and like, listen, like, this is me coming from, just because I'm not a girl doesn't mean I can't appreciate this and feel good about it. But man, I'm taking what I'm feeling right now, especially because it's a goalie, so it kind of hits home a little bit more. The fact that I'm feeling this way and how happy I am and how proud I am, it's like, man, I can only imagine what, I'll shout out the two female goalies that played for the Station 6 Fire this year, Amelia Awad and Lucy Phillips, who are two fantastic fucking goalies, and they're going to have very long careers, and they're going to go places, let me tell you. Man, like, I can only imagine being them and being like, yo, look at this girl who's literally our age and look at what she's doing. Like, we can do this shit. Like, you work hard and you get noticed. Doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy, you're going to get noticed. You work your fucking ass off. And this is what this girl is doing. And, that's absolutely unreal. That's so good, man. And,
it's so great for the hockey community.
Yeah. And that's everywhere. That's not like just in Ontario.
Yeah.
This is on guarantee, because it's the first woman in history like doing that. Like Manon Rhéaume never got drafted in the OHL. She didn't do that.
No.
So and she played a preseason NHL game, and she's like, the standard. This fucking girl didn't, she didn't do that. What I'm saying is this is absolutely crazy. This is unreal.
It's a big day for hockey.
It's a big day for hockey.
Not just male or female. It's a big day in hockey. It's a step in the right direction, that's for sure.
Fantastic.
And going back to what Ben said too about the women's worlds, how they couldn't be here. Once I heard that, I was pretty disappointed that it couldn't be here, but it's because
I just got fucking rattled at fucking Cassie Campbell on Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah.
What'd she say? I didn't even hear what she said. What'd she say?
So I'm sitting there watching the Oiler game, one of the Oiler games, like game 2 or game 3. It's packed, when the playoffs first started. So she comes on and she's talking to Ron McLean. And so they bring up a Premier Rankin and how Rankin and Strang basically shut down the Worlds for being here because our cases spiked and all that shit.
Yeah.
So she's basically sitting there in her fucking house in Calgary, and she's basically just saying like, oh, I find it really disappointing that Premier Rankin would do such a thing, blah, blah, blah. These women work so hard to get where they're going, and you're just going to shut everything down. Fuck you. We're in a fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
Our cases skyrocketed. And I know that a lot of them are here, and then some of them are coming from overseas. I get that. But here's the fucking thing. They're the top athletes in the world. You want them getting fucking sick?
Yeah, that's right.
Go pound sand. Now they're playing in Calgary, or they were talking about PEI, but I think they're playing in Calgary now for the World.
Yeah, they're playing in Calgary.
Yeah, so she can go pound sand because our premier did the right thing, because we're in the middle of a pandemic. And last time I checked, a pandemic is a little higher than hockey.
Yeah.
People's safety and their health, and our cases spiked.
Yeah.
And she basically in my opinion, she basically said that women's hockey is higher than a fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah,
We're trying to keep those players safe. We're trying to keep those players safe and everybody else safe.
Yeah.
And you're going to go on air on national television and rip on Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Because our premier made a decision to keep those players safe and everybody else safe.
Yeah.
Because they could have had it too. But I'm not gonna bring that up. But here's the thing. You don't go on national television and rip on a province in the middle of a fucking pandemic, which you've never been in the middle of before.
Yeah. That's true. 100%. Totally
Hockey's
agree.
not bigger than anybody.
Yeah.
Hockey's a privilege to play.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you there, Ben. Obviously, I mean, obviously.
So bad for the girls, but at the same time,
it
it's
sucks,
just like.
But I mean, you're
nobody
getting
else.
your
Basically,
time.
nobody else here is playing hockey.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Like, like I'll give it to you, Jesse, in just a second. But it's also just like,
I didn't mean to open up a can of worms, but that
but you're 100%.
really pissed me off.
That's for sure. And I didn't even know that. And it's like, obviously it sucked. Now it's not too bad because it's like there was, they're playing in Calgary. It's like they're going to get their tournament.
They're going to get to play. They're gonna get to play.
So they're gonna get to play, which is great. And I obviously before that was even planned when it was first canceled, I saw I was like, man, that's too bad. But it's like, and for these girls, I'm sure it sucked. I saw Jill Saulnier's post, and I'm not against the people saying, and like I'm sure Ben, you're not too. Like the girls who are upset, the girls who are playing this tournament, and voicing their displeasure with the decision
100%, and
with,
they have the right
obviously
to do that.
like I'm not just like, hey, actually be grateful that you're not going to get sick. No, voice your displeasure. I agree with you 100%, but it's exactly like you said, the fact that you're actually going on live television and saying this, it's like, I can't believe they made a decision. It's like, okay, really, it sucks, it does, it's unfortunate, but can you honestly not see that? Like, you really think that that's a bad decision, what he did? You think it's a poor decision? It'd be poor
I tweeted at her too. I tweeted at her.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And I got like 15 retweets. It's
well,
the biggest amount of retweets I've ever gotten in my life.
Let's go.
Shout out Twitter.
Yeah.
But like, it was just like, and so I had like 20 comments on it, and like people from all over Nova Scotia were commenting on it. Like, I can't believe that she said this. Like, you're 100% correct. Like, random people. I had no idea who these people were. Hockey's a privilege, man. It's not fucking right.
Because it'd be different if they had shut down the tournament and said, you're not even having it in Calgary this year, we're not having this, whatever. Yeah. Then it's like, yo, that fucking sucks. Hockey Canada.
Pump the fucking brakes, Cassie Campbell.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
But it's like, ripping on Nova Scotia and the decision that Ian Rankin is doing.
Get your fucking makeup when you go on here.
It's like, I didn't even hear her say it, but now I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, why the fuck would you say that?
Look it up, man. It was
Anyway, Jess, sorry, I cut you off there.
That was a rant. That was a rant.
It's
just like, I'm sure people will agree if they watched it, but
it'll get the views. Let's
get those views.
It'll get those views up. YouTube want to give us some money, but all right, here, Jess, go for it. Say your thing.
No, like I was saying, I 100% agree with you, Ben. Obviously, it's disappointing they couldn't play here in our hometown, and I know the women were disappointed too, especially Jill Saulnier and Blair Turnbull, because they're from here and they would have loved to play in their hometown. But the fact that now they're getting able to play in Calgary, that just makes me happy to see, because I was upset that they wouldn't be able to play, and then I heard talks that they were finding places. I'm like, if they can find a place to play, then thank you. Yeah.
Let's play hockey, right?
Let's fucking go Canada. Canada's got
you're in the middle of a fucking pandemic.
Shout out to Jill Saulnier and also their goalie Emrance. I got to actually meet both of them at a Mooseheads game. They were signing autographs for the Women's Worlds, and great woman to talk to. Like, they're just so nice people, and I got both of their autographs, and I said, man, I wish you guys the best of luck in the tournament, and bring home, numbers, go make us proud. And
did you get their numbers?
No.
Oh, fuck, man, why? That would have been the best topic on the story there.
Oh man, but could you imagine Jesse just bought it? It's like, yeah, man, can I have autographs? Like, by the way, could I get like your cell phone number? I can picture you saying that, and then if you were to say, you know what they would have done, I'm sure, because Jill Saulnier, like, she just has that swagger about her. I could promise you that if anyone were to ask her when she's signing autograph, hey, can I get your number? She'd be like, yeah, sure. She'd go right on, and she'd write her hockey number. She'd just write like 21 or whatever hockey number.
Probably,
Be like, here, take a picture of the last line. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it'd be fucking hilarious.
And that's the thing, though, too. Like, when I saw Jill Saulnier come out about that in post 2, I was like, good on her, because she wasn't wrong at all. Like, and that's the thing too. Like, our women's national team is unbelievably good. Like, look at the players we had in the past history. Like, I was talking about this with one of my friends too. We were talking about how good Haley Wickenheiser was when she played with us, and now she's a doctor.
Doctor Haley Wickenheiser. And isn't she employed by the Leafs, by the way?
Yeah, she's
Let's
like
go, Haley. Doctor? Doc?
Doc. Let's
Doc?
go. Let's go.
Go.
And but yeah, and then and I was saying to my buddy too, I was like, yeah, and now we got the next generation of Haley Wickenheiser, which is Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Let's go.
Yeah.
She's
Unreal.
unbelievably talented.
Mm.
And then, like I said too, our Nova Scotians, Jill Saunier and Blair Turnbull, they gone to the Olympics a lot of times, and they're great as well. So, yeah,
just ripping her.
So I'm happy they're being able to play now, and like I said, let's make us proud and bring home that gold.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. What else you got?
So I guess I got two last topics to bring up here too, and then we'll wrap it up. The President's Cup final in the queue between the Val-d'Or Foyer and the Victoriaville Tigres. Your President's Cup champions, the Victoriaville Tigres.
Let's go.
I know Billy's happy about that because he's got some family members up in Victoriaville.
Let's go, man. Victoriaville, the most underrated, man. Let me tell you something though. Small towns are so good. Like that sounds so random, but it's like, yo, that's a huge thing for that city too. Because Victoriaville is not big. That is not a big city. It is my favorite place in the world. I love it. I got my grandparents that live there. We go there every summer. We were supposed to go obviously last summer, but COVID happened, so that sucked. But I got family in Victoriaville. Obviously, I got family kind of spread out around Quebec with my dad and stuff. Man, dude, like that is huge for that city because you just know that it's like that is what that's the big thing in that city because it's just plunk dab smack in the middle of Quebec. Or in the drive between Quebec City and Montreal, right in the middle, you got Victoriaville, and it's literally like you don't have much going on there. You have like the two main streets, and then kind of like houses, whatever, and then you have the rink, and it's like all right, and that's it. You got a couple grocery stores, and that's pretty much that. And just the fact that like Victoriaville is one of the most like forgotten about teams in the CHL. Like there's those teams that you're just kind of like, oh yeah, like you got London, you got Halifax, you got like Windsor Spitfires and the teams in the WHL. I don't know who the big one is now, but whatever, Victoria Royals, or I don't know, that could be forgotten, but whatever. My point is the fact that probably one of the most forgotten about franchises in the CHL, and it's my hometown team, my dad's hometown team, and they won it in double overtime. I can't wait to go see what the goal looked like and the reaction of the guys and stuff. Good on them. Let's go, Tig. I'm pumped.
And that's good for Victoriaville too, because I know they were saying Victoriaville hasn't won the President's Cup in like a long time. I think it was like the last time they won it, I think they said was like 2001 or something like that. And no, unlike you, Billy, I was rooting for Victoriaville because I know you told me you had family members up there. So once my buddies tell me that, I'm like, yep, like to show them some support too. So I was going for them. I'm happy they won it. And I mean, I know lots of people had Val-d'Or as the favorites. I don't blame them because Val-d'Or was a great team all season too. I mean, they made a series of it, Victoriaville 1 and 6. So I mean, Val-d'Or should be holding their heads high, and because they definitely made it a good series, and good on Victoriaville though.
Let's go, man.
Yeah,
big things. What's the last thing there, Jess? What are we kicking? What are we ending this on?
We are actually ending this on a interesting note.
All right.
Going back to our previous episodes, shout out to Greg McDonald. He said the BMO Center is no longer called the BMO Center. I read up on that today, and they don't really have a sponsorship name for it, but right now it's called the HRM 4 pad.
Just kind of a bland
Yeah.
thing. But hey.
I'm sure they'll get a sponsor,
yeah.
though. Yeah.
The HRM 4-pad. Nice.
Yeah.
It'll probably still get named. Everybody will call it the BMO Center. It's like like the Metro Center.
Oh,
it's always going to be the Metro.
It's always
Center
going to be the
to
Metro
me,
Center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like the Dartmouth 4-pad. I can't call it. I can't
call it RBC
Dartmouth
Center.
4-pad. Yeah, I can't.
It's Dartmouth 4-pad.
Yeah.
It's always been the 4-pad.
Yeah. Dartmouth 4-pad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Imagine if they take the, you know what I'm saying? Like what company I think is the front runner? Like what? Like I have no idea. I don't even know. I couldn't even guess.
Well, Pro Hockey Life is owned by Canadian Tire, so you never know. Canadian Tire might.
The Canadian Tire Arena. Canadian Tire wouldn't be the Canadian Tire Center because that's already Ottawa's rank.
Yeah.
Canadian Tire Place, Canadian Tire Arena.
Who knows, man? It's a gambler's choice, but
it's always a BMO, and that whatever company, it's always gonna be the BMO. Whatever company like takes it, I'm sure they know that. It's like, dude, you can name it whatever. You can name it fucking Subway something. It's gonna be the BMO, and you're not gonna get much, advertising because
and that's the thing too. Like we said, like with the Mooseheads Arena, the Scotiabank Center, I still call it the Metro Center too. So
that's the Metro Center.
Yeah, and another thing about the BMO Center, I gotta say that's probably one of my favorite rinks to play in.
Dude, because I mean,
yeah, I know, and I think it's the fact too that the ice in there is NHL sized ice, and so it's like cool to be playing on NHL sized ice. You get to see like what the NHL players are playing on and all that. But yeah, and how we mentioned about Dartmouth, I guess I'll get into the story of this jersey. This jersey is actually a Dartmouth Whalers jersey, and I'll get into the story of how I got it. So it's their Major Bantam team's jersey. They reached out to my hockey team's coach one day, and they were like, would you be interested in playing a for fun exhibition game against us? And my coach was like, yeah, sure. So he let us know that we had a game against them, and so we played them at our home rink, which is pretty far from here, honestly, all the way over in Shearwater. But yeah, we played them there, and then at the end of the game, they had some extra jerseys, and their coach came into our locker room. He's like, boys, thanks for inviting us to play you guys. It was really fun game. We got some extra jerseys here for you guys that we'd like to give you guys. So he just sauced out some, and I gotta say they're beautiful jerseys too. You got the patch here with the bridge and the DW with the whale. You got the Major Bantam Hockey League logo there.
Official patch.
Yeah.
You're styling in there. God damn.
Yeah.
Looking
good.
And
I love the stripes up here too on the side. Beautiful jerseys. If the Dartmouth Major Bantam coach comes across this, thanks again for the jerseys, man.
Join the podcast. Come on the podcast.
Come on the podcast.
Come on the podcast. All right. I think that was good, Epi boys.
Yeah, good episode.
Solid episode.
Yeah. I figured I was just get that story of the jersey out there because people were probably like, what jersey is that he has on? And
people like, wait, Jesse play Major Bantam? Holy shit!
I didn't play Major Bantam.
All right, Jess.
You should have told the Olympians that or whatever.
Yeah, you should have wore that with them. Be like, hey, I'm getting up there.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, kind of a big deal, boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh shit! All right, Jess, give her the outro, bud.
All right. Yeah, thanks guys for tuning in to this episode. It was a lot of fun talking about some great topics here, and thanks for your guys' support and liking the videos and leaving comments of suggestions we should talk about. Also to mention, you'll see it once this is posted in our intro. Shout out to Greg Dobson for
Yup.
making our new logo there. Beautiful logo, absolutely clean. And yeah, make sure to follow the Instagram page. Again, that link will be down in the description. And thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks, boys. Let's
safe,
fucking
boys.
go. See you, big boys.